We open with the news about the economy, where the economic indicators of the Central African sub-region are set to be in the reds.
The October edition of the International Monetary Fund indicates that growth rate in this part of the continent will not hit the 4% mark projected at the beginning of the year.
And the IMF is attributing the dwindling performance to the sharp drop in oil prices on the world market. Bertrand Osomba flipped through that report and captured some of its telling revelations.
The economic boom enjoyed by sub-Saharan Africa over a decade now is losing steam. A crude analysis of the 2015 economic perspectives indicates the continent will only manage a 3.7% rate, a point below projections. Oil-producing countries such as Nigeria, Angola, South Africa experience the biggest drop.
There is the shock of the oil prices that have gone down significantly, and there has been also difficulties in international capital markets where there is no longer as much and as cheap for financing.
According to the IMF October report, there is need for readjustment in oil-producing countries.
We are recommending adjustments to the various policies to allow the countries of the region to face those risks in the best possible way.
Sound public policies to keep competitiveness at a reasonable level has enabled Cameroon maintain a steady growth of 5% with controlled inflation.
Growth in Cameroon has been resilient, so the economic growth has been good despite those negative developments.
Experts, civil society and government, however, agree on the need to diversify exports and to invest in projects of economic value that can sustainably help manage problems generated by the accumulation of debts.
From the report presented by the International Monetary Fund official in Yaoundé today, it is clear that the economies of countries of the Central African sub-region have remained stagnant for a while.
So what can be responsible for the economic slowdown in the sub-region? That question I put to Henry Macaulay, who now attempts an answer in the following commentary.
The economy of the Central African sub-region has witnessed a steady rise in the past 5 years. What drove the economy basically was the rise in the price of crude oil, which got to about $150 per barrel. Because most countries of the sub-region produce petrol, their coffers were filled with petrodollars. The predictions of the countries of the sub-region were that the price of petrol will continue to surge, but contrary to their thoughts, the price of crude started falling just when nobody expected, and the fall was so rapid. Since most of the countries of the region did not anticipate the fall, when the price of crude crashed from about $150 to about $50 a barrel, the foundation of the region's economy witnessed a huge fault line. The fight against Boko Haram and the global meltdown have equally put a lot of pressure on the region's economy. The lack of infrastructure has not also helped matters. Mark you, the countries of the region are not interconnected, making the free movement of goods and persons almost unattainable. Unlike in East and West Africa, where the countries are open to each other, in the Central African sub-region, countries hesitate to give their full political and financial support to regional economic projects and institutions. Full-time nationalists have equally blamed the economic slowdown of the region on its monetary policy. But no matter the reasons for the economic stagnation, experts hold that the fundamentals of the economy of the sub-region remain solid, and that if it can diversify its economy and if countries of the region can open their arms to each other, then the economy of the Central African sub-region can pick up steam again.
And on to something else now. Members of the Committee for the Project Management and Portfolio, the CMSP, have officially assumed duty in Yaoundé with a call on them to redeem Cameroon's battered image on the international scene.
Comprised of a bureau, a permanent secretariat, sub-commissions, president, the Deputy Director General of the Standards and Quality Agency, ANOR, Chantal Andeli, reminded them of the competitiveness of products on the world market, adding that Cameroon must not be left behind.
Cameroon, through ANOR, became a member of the International Committee for Project Management Programs and Portfolios in 2012, alongside 3 other African countries. A new system for the entire management of public contract award procedures has been launched in Douala.
The system, codenamed COLEPS, is an e-procurement system that was launched in Douala by the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of public contracts, Abba Sadou.
Veronica Benyela reports on the milestone initiative, which is intended to build a more efficient public contract award system in Cameroon. Veronica?
The e-procurement system, COLEPS, is built to handle the public contracts award procedure from project programming to the award of contracts. According to the Minister Delegate at the Presidency in charge of public contracts, Mr. Abba Sadou, the adoption of the online procedure is aimed at building a more efficient public contracts system. The procedures will be simplified and transparent.
Technically, everything is put in place so that the system be reliable, and then there's no way to have fake situation in the new process of contacting by electronic methods.
The training opened to all littoral-based companies interested in public contracts saw about 100 participants. They were trained on how to use the website and how to follow up on their tenders. Added to the workshop, the entrepreneurs would take home a publication titled The Tenders Guide. This instructive publication presents the operating system of COLEPS, system inherent to their various profiles, and instructions on the actual use of COLEPS platform. Apart from the acquisition of a good internet connection and the installation of a Java software on one's computer, access to the COLEPS website is obtained through a digital certificate given by the National Agency for Information and Communication Technology, ANTIC. This should help to secure users' activities on the website.
Still in Douala, business persons and the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, Laurent Serge Etundingwa, have agreed that job creation and innovation is the need of the hour.
Experts in the field of small and medium-sized enterprises converged on Douala in what has been described in French as SME Exchange. And for details on that event, we have our correspondent from CRTV Littoral, Gladys Atemba.
Statistics from the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises show that there are a total of 93,969 enterprises in Cameroon. A good majority of these companies are usually confronted with problems like the lack of financial and human resources. In a world where everything is becoming digital, enterprises need to adapt to change and be innovative in order to face competition from foreign partners.
We need this private sector to be involved in all the policies he is carrying out for the country. Cameroon is a good reach. It's better to go there because during the session, we will present all our incitement here and all our incentive measures for economy to develop and for investment.
This third edition of PME Exchange is therefore providing an opportunity for small and medium-sized enterprises to meet, make themselves known, exchange ideas on how to innovate, as well as showcase their know-how to the public. The honorary country invited this year is Morocco due to its technological advancement, coupled with the fact that it is a good example for the African economy. Focus this year is on job creation and innovation. This is because if Cameroonian enterprises do not meet up with recent technological developments, they will not be able to evolve, thus making it difficult for the country's emergence by 2035. Participants have lauded the initiative, saying it will help broaden the base of small and medium-sized enterprises. They are therefore looking forward to forums like this to be organized often so that business persons in Cameroon will be more educated on how to function with their foreign partners.
And after the National Assembly over the weekend, members of government are now defending the budgets of their various ministerial departments before the members of the Budget and Finance Committee of the Senate.
This afternoon, the Minister of Finance, Al-Amin Ousmane Mey, and the Minister of the Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Louis-Paul Motazé, were the first two ministers to go through the exercise. Charles Anyangwe has the details.
Prior to the start of the defense of the budget of the different ministerial departments at the Senate this Monday, the Finance Law of Cameroon for 2016, already adopted by the National Assembly, was tabled before members of the Upper House of Parliament during a plenary sitting chaired by the Senior Vice President of the Senate, Aboubakary Abdoulaye. The tabling of the state budget that stands at above 4,234 billion francs CFA paved the way for the different ministers to start appearing before members of the Finance and Budget Committee to defend their budgets. The first to appear before the committee, chaired by Senator Elie Victor Essomba Chungi, and the representative of the Vice Prime Minister, Minister in charge of Affairs with the Assemblies, Grégoire Owona, was the Minister of Finance, Al-Amin Ousmane Mey. He presented the economic, social and financial situation and perspectives of the nation for 2015 relating to the 2016 Finance Law. Al-Amin Ousmane Mey also defended the budget of sovereignty institutions in Cameroon and the budget of the Ministry of Finance. On the heels of the Minister of Finance was the Minister of the Economy, Planning and Regional Development, Louis-Paul Motazé, who defended the budget, laying emphasis on priority actions such as the construction of stadiums for the African Nations Cup and other infrastructural projects to promote growth as prescribed by the head of state, Paul Biya. All these actions, according to Minister Motazé, are intended to lead Cameroon to emergence by 2035.
Elsewhere, members of the Mbororo Social, Cultural and Development Association, Boskuda, have been lauded for their contribution in the fight against Boko Haram.
The praise was made by the Secretary General in the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Decentralization, Pierre Essomba, who was speaking while receiving some food items from the association to support the army on the war front. Quinta Rita Edang reports.
The pain and destruction the insurgencies of Boko Haram has caused to families and the nation at large cannot leave anyone indifferent, reason why members of the Mbororo Social, Cultural and Development Association, Boskuda, are determined to help in the fight by supporting the army on the field. Presenting the package made up of rice, salt, oil and 29 healthy cows, the president of the association, Jaji Manu Gidado, said a true Muslim must seek to promote peace and unity.
To our forces of law and order, to say thank you to our local defense committees that are sacrificing their lives, and also to say Asha to those victims of the war against Boko Haram. We are talking about children, we are talking about women, and we are talking about old men.
In response, the Secretary General in the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Decentralization, Pierre Essomba, expressed gratitude to the association and encouraged them to continue to contribute to nation building. Created in 1992, Boskuda has branches nationwide and has been instrumental in educating the Mbororo community.
Let's talk about health now. Experts in the forestry and wildlife sector are upgrading their capacities on the fight against HIV/AIDS within the forestry sector in a two-day seminar that is holding in Yaoundé.
The seminar was presided over by the Inspector number 1 at the Ministry of Forestry, who was representing the Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Ngole Philip Ngwese.
It comes on the heels of the 28th edition of the World AIDS Day, it brought together forestry experts from the Central African sub-region. Irene Bangtata reports.
0 new infections, 0 stigmatization, 0 deaths. The message re-echoed on the 28th edition of the World AIDS Day. Experts at the Ministry of Forestry say their workers are in dire need of more sensitization. The reason for this two-day seminar.
You've got to be healthy to be able to work. So we need to contribute to the growth of our country. And that's why this activity has been clearly defined in the Growth and Employment Strategy paper.
The Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Ngole Philip Ngwese, earlier signed a document containing a guideline of workers' health status. Remarkable among the guidelines are compulsory HIV screening tests, and regular treatment for infected persons in the forestry sector.
Workers are employed to work in various aspects, be it in enterprise or in the forest or in the park or along the highway. These are vulnerable cases.
Participants after the seminar will have to embark on a serious sensitization campaign back in the regions. By so doing, officials expect increased efficiency and high productivity of workers in the forestry sector.
A group of journalists conducted a fundraising ceremony to fund a proposed investment summit to be held in January under the name National Economic Forum. The event was attended by the National Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Awudeng Achwil, who assured the gathering of her support for any initiative involving women. Meanwhile, the event organizer, Abuk, who represented the business-focused newspaper, called on the private sector and government to work together to strengthen the economy of South Sudan.
We create a conducive environment for private sector to grow and develop. So it is important for any country who want to have a meaningful development to grow a private sector.
We expect to join hands with our government and partner in fighting this great initiative that would be of enabling benefit to our nation.
Would be forwarded for action by the policymakers. For this reason, the Business Focus decided to prospectively hold a National Economic Forum in mid-January 2013.
The governor of Eastern Equatoria State, Louis Lobong Lojore, reveals that the security situation in the state is normal. He added that the state government and its people are committed to peace and stability and ready to fight any criminal act through its security organs. Governor Lobong dismisses allegations published recently on Sudan Tribune about the insecurity in the state as misleading and unfounded. He further explained that there are robberies along Torit Riala Road and that the police are pursuing the criminals.
On the 3rd December 2015, indicating that a renewable faction of Ran Idolu police post in Eastern Equatorial States. This is yet another misleading and untrue story aimed at diverting the attention of the people from the path for implementation of the peace agreement. Our police posts are in Idolu, Port Suruawat, Thursday, and are still there up to now. What we know is that there have been some robbery along Toriti-Yala Highway, and that the police at Idolu, after getting the information, went to the location where the people were robbed.
Apanal State Deputy Governor Dak Tab discussed with the state ministers and head of commissions on the rehabilitation program in the government institutions in the state's capital, Malakal. On related development, Deputy Governor Dak held a series of meetings with representatives of organizations working in the state and discussed ways of how to render humanitarian services to the citizens.
This is what we will try to do. If the can MSF, direction and go, I don't know, I'm feel, Lam no go, push you. Learn about MSF and Padina, they will do a lot of things. They will refer it in the building. We just want them to get in. The can map the regulation, the Dahalo region, not to handle the regular report. What I'm hello. Lano service debt, the side negative. The Medina Milakal or Mahara Barra, including the army. The side. I don't know which MSF, I'm into Naxam. MSF Belgium, MSF Holland, MSF, they could be.
Jonglei State's government expresses commitment to work in collaboration with authorities of Greater Pibor administrative area to stop child abduction. The assurance was stated by the State Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Rachel Anoka-Mott, during the reunification ceremony of one abducted child to her parents before the state legal administration. The child was returned to the state authorities by Greater Pibor administration. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Bor County, Isaac Mamir, promised to work for peace between Bor and Pibor.
With peace conference and dialogue and peace visit, and even we need to open the road.
Yao, the Chief of Greater Pibor Administrative Area, for all the initiative that he's doing. We will work together and we will double our support to look into this child protection and see that no child is to be taken again. And also I wrote letters to all the commissioners of counties to put their efforts together and see that no child is taken, no violence in the community, and also to help us with more mobilization on how the community can live in sustainable and peaceful society. Because we are now independent, we are a country, and we should abide with the rule of our constitution.
Central Equatorial State Minister of Information, Emmanuel Adil Anthony, reiterated government's call to South Sudanese to embrace the spirit of peace and unity in order to foster development in the country. Minister Adil made the call during an administrative peace for communication to South Sudanese organized by United Nations Development Program on Sunday at Nyakuron Culture Center. While the UNDP country director Balaza Howard says the occasion is to promote common understanding for peace in the country.
Warren, thank you very much. Well, not heritage.
Competition in cultures and in sports are very important because competition itself is culture. So when cultures compete, this does not mean divisions, but rather strengthens us to work together for unity. The current peace implementation under the leadership of His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of the Republic. With this peace, we believe tranquility, stability is going to come to South Sudan.
Plus, there is a local peace, local peace festival that we are all participating in here in the Nyakuran Center. My name is Balázs Horváth. I'm country director for UNDP. We're all here to foster an understanding on how peace can be brought to this country. Obviously, very important steps have already been made. His Excellency the President, Salva Kiir Mayardit, has signed a peace agreement with Dr. Riek Machar, and that is a critical step towards peace in this country.
The Director of Police in Upper Nile State, Major General James Paul Nyok, inspected the police headquarters, prisons and other police units in Malakal town. The inspection came after directives from the state governor to relocate the capital from Rengbak to Malakal. In a statement to SSTV, Major General James Ball called on the state citizens to return to their respective areas.
من الرن لهنا. وانا علي انا بقول بالنسبه للناس مواطنين بتاعي انا في خدمه بتاعكم. انا دايرك انت مواطن جنوبي ارجع بلدك انا بحميك. دول الفعل انجرى في يونميس بسبب حمايه يجي برا حمايه بوليسيه. وهنبدا في شنو؟ في تنفيذ بتاع شنو؟ نعمل ادارات. عشان كده انا بقول اي زول في جوبا ولا زول في خرطوم ولا زول في نيروبي ولا زول في غامبيلا ولا زول في وين ما يخاف ولا في يونميس انا موجود. انت زول جريت باسباب امنيه انت زول بتاعي. وانا بديت كلام ده. انا بديت كلام ده اي زول ما يخاف. زول اي زول يجي هنا زي انا موجود فوق. شكرا.
St. Luke Christian College held a graduation ceremony of its students in Nimule, Eastern Equatorial State. The college principal, Matthew Madid, who was also at the event, called on the youth to enroll in religious institutions, which he said doesn't require admission fees, to offer opportunity for the citizens to further their studies. Reverend Peter Manyog Garang, who is a member of the College Board of Trustees, said the college was first established in Bor, Jonglei State in 2013 to offer theological and economics classes.
Christian institutions that mostly has been approved. Many other institutions are actually supporting it, and NGOs, UN boards. Your prayers is most welcome, and knows that St. Luke was officially today opened by most of those bishops in Nimile. So you are highly welcome to appreciate, and you can even call. And the reason why St. Luke was brought to Nimile is because we don't need to bring our kids to Kampala, Nairobi, and some other foreigners, because it is the same institution. So take a look and see what you need to know the most before you send your child, your relative.
Today we are here celebrating this occasion, particularly in Nimile, opening the college. And we are here calling everybody who is around, the young people, men and women, to join this college for the future bright, because we cannot pursue education in our neighboring countries due to the economic problem. And if we have such an institution, we are called all our people to join us and come to learn. There is a free learning here. Even though you hear that it's not institution which is a non-governmental institution. We are not charging people here. We are calling people to train them to be preachers of the word of the God, also to have self-reliant skill in this college. So all of us, we are calling ourselves, so that we join institution. We, the board of directors, we are here to witness the plan and the activities, and we prove them that they are well done. So today we have seen what Matthew Madid did in Nimile and also in Nyamazi. You are hearing these children who are singing, they are from Nyamazi Primary School, St. Luke. So today we are very glad. Many people have come from different. We have many bishops who are here from the different dioceses, from corner of South Sudan. We are very glad, and even the population you will see. So we are urging our government also to support us in this institution. There are so many things which are lacking here. We don't have benches, we don't have books, we don't have anything, and even those who are teaching here, they are voluntary teachers. So we are calling for anyone who is liking that South Sudan want people who are educated.